Chinese migrants are the fastest growing group trying to cross the U.S. southern border, and some of them are getting step-by-step instructions from TikTok. Last year, U.S. Customs and Border Protection reported that 37,000 Chinese citizens were apprehended as they illegally crossed the border. That's 50 times more than just 2 years earlier.
Why did you come?
Take money.
Money?
Yes.
For job?
Yes.
There's no job in China.
Maybe, I don't know.
The United States is being overrun by the Biden migrant crime. It's a new form of vicious violation to our country. It's migrant crime. And I'll say this, it's a military operation. I mean, we have this is like a war.
Trump has been here to our area several times before. This is not the first time. He came during his presidency, and he's come several times. So for Biden to come now, then that just tells us that he's afraid.
Oh, afraid of what?
Afraid of losing.
He's wasting his time. Mr. President, what are you doing here? By a stroke of a pen, you can stop this. You don't need Congress.
It feels like it's a day late and a dollar short.
I don't know what his purpose is, to be quite honest. We've had this situation for years. He has not shown up. It just seems a little too late.
Should not have taken President Biden 3 years to acknowledge the worst border crisis in our country's history.
I'd like to understand from you what Trump-era immigration policies have been banned, ended, reversed, and if any investigations are underway by you.
So we have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies. It would take so much time to list them.
The overwhelming sentiment in that meeting is we got to do Ukraine now. And there are other issues, including border, which we should address, but not now. We said to the speaker, get it done.
The first priority of the country is our border and making sure it's secure. It's time for action. It is a catastrophe, and it must stop.
It just goes to show that Biden does not care about either Texas or the border and what's going on. As a result, you see a disaster. The United States of America is dealing with more deadly consequences than we have in our entire lifetime because of Joe Biden's policies.
The American public knows that having a bill that allows 5,000 people in a day is still close to $2 million a year. This is a joke. And look, Laura, you have Republicans who watch, you have independents, and you have Democrats that watch. I'm telling you all, folks, you better pick a side, or you're going to lose this country. And that next person that's killed by a drunk driver who is here illegally, the next person that's murdered, could be your wife, your husband, your child. In November, and I believe he's going to handily, but if he does not, this country, Laura, will be lost. We lose the country.
Razor wire at the center of an intensifying legal battle between Texas and the Biden administration. Texas National Guard soldiers have assembled miles and miles of razor wire here on the riverbanks of the Rio Grande in between the U.S. and Mexico to deter migrants from crossing into the country illegally. The Biden administration has said that this wire is impeding Border Patrol from processing people who have already arrived on U.S. soil. But the Texas agents are saying that this repels migrants and deters them from coming into the U.S. illegally. The Supreme Court earlier this week allowed the Biden administration to cut this wire. But right now, Texas is preventing Border Patrol from entering this public park here in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Your agents, my agents, they're mad as hell. Absolutely mad that President Biden went to Brownsville, Texas, rather than going to Arizona, rather than going to San Diego, California, rather than coming to Eagle Pass, Texas, which has been the epicenter. What President Trump has seen right here is he's seen how his policies have worked, but he's also seen how he can expand upon those policies once he goes back into the White House to secure this specific area, the epicenter of the last 2 years of the illegal border crisis that we have had to endure. And your agents, President, they are pissed. Border Patrol agents are upset that we cannot get the proper policy that is necessary to protect human life, to protect American citizens, to protect the people that are crossing the border illegally. We want to protect them as well. And we can't do that because President Biden's policies continue to invite people to cross.
Disgusting, it's shameful, it is obscene, it's malignant. So there he is chasing Donald Trump. They have no answers to what he would be saying. They're pretending. They want to be able to say, I'm doing something about this, when he is the perpetrator. It is like the arsonist suddenly grabbing a hose when it's too late.
For political power, Joe Biden created a crisis that's now in every corner of this nation, to
Everywhere.
Your point. Death, rape, financial hardship, and unknown national security risk to every town, every corner of this nation.
And Trump has a 35-point advantage on it. A 35-point advantage on the top issue in America. That's the reason Biden went to Texas. He's struggling to save himself from political deportation. You know how you know when it's political? When they tell you it's not.
This is not about politics for the president. And it was not about politics. This is not about politics for the president. So, again, not about politics, because this is not about politics.
Here's what I would say to Mr. Trump. Instead of playing politics with this issue, instead of telling members of Congress to block this legislation, join me, or I'll join you, in telling the Congress to pass this bipartisan border security bill. We can do it together.
The border security issue is a concern for all Americans, and I believe that a lot of Democrats are also, had it up to here with waiting for something to be done.
She also thinks that the president is doing a little campaign work for the congressman representing District 34, which includes Brownsville, because the president, she believes, feels he cannot lose.
Recent illegal migrant apprehensions at the Brownsville station have been some of the lowest across the southern border, by the way. Brownsville reporting just 12 migrant apprehensions on Monday. 12. Eagle Pass saw over 500 on the same.
The dip in numbers, Cabrera says, is due to the work the state of Texas has done, like Senate Bill 4, not the work of the federal government.
Take this fight to these organizations and assume operational.
Today is a day of an extraordinary contrast. We have President Trump back in the state of Texas, literally on the border itself, a place that he's been to many times, talking about all the things that he's done to secure the border. At the very same time, we have President Biden down in Brownsville, Texas, which was an obligatory visit by him. He'd never been to the border. In fact, I don't think he's on the border itself right now. He's in some sanitized location in the Brownsville area, not seeing the razor wire that Texas has put up around Brownsville. And he announced that he was going to Brownsville after it was already known that President Trump was coming to the state of Texas.
So here we are at Eagle Pass, and we're going to be meeting with the major officials and law enforcement responsible for the border, and just hear directly from them and see exactly what's going on for yourself. The fact that we are seeing all-time highs in illegal processing, and that ramp is increasing.
Yes.
So these are really important points, because the public isn't. I think it's not necessarily clear to the public. Is this normal, or are we seeing an accelerating crisis? What is the total number from all locations roughly?
In the millions. I mean, it's literally millions, and those are just the folks that we know have engaged.
And we are repatriating or sending zero back. Zero.
So
Not...
zero is quite a small number.
Yeah, exactly.